Hi, I used to be Dallas Stars play-by-play man Ralph Strangis. Now, I'm just a huge fan of JJ and the Breakaway right here.
Hello, everybody. This is JJ on the Breakaway, and today, that is a whole lot of rhyming. We have an interesting show. We're not going to talk specifically about any game, we're not going to talk about any real performance in depth, but we are going to go over a few things Dallas Stars. After all, that's the point of this show. Did you know 2 days ago, the Dallas Stars shut out the Minnesota Wild? Did you know that 2 days ago, Jim Nill got his 500th win as an NHL GM? And that's right, it was with the Dallas Stars. And that win against the Minnesota Wild, I think the score was 3-0, if I remember right. Yes. And then yesterday, Stars narrowly squeaked out a win against the Edmonton Oilers. Now, they have been on a little bit of a hot streak. Wyatt Johnston has been on a little bit of a hot streak, finding himself on the score sheet for a ton of games, to be quite honest with you. Or at least it seems like it. The last 10, 11 now, I believe, for sure. And how about Mr. Jason Robertson as well? Jason Robertson scored a hat trick. What they call a natty hattie at that. What's a natural hat trick? 3 goals. Boom, boom, boom. Uninterrupted. Now, here's the thing. While I couldn't tell you the exact math on the time between the goals, nothing's going to top what they scored the other night, scoring 2 goals in a mere 58 seconds. That's not to take away what Robo did last night, but I'm here to tell you, I think the Stars' offense is heating up. And I'm here to tell you, too, that it's without the likes of Tyler Seguin. Furthermore, Miro Heiskanen is hurt. Tyler Seguin looks like he's on the way back. From what I've seen, he is skating at his own leisure, from how I understand it, anyways. Miro Heiskanen is not. Heiskanen is reported to be out for the very first round of the playoffs. Anything beyond that, I couldn't tell you. That's just what the going um, info is around the sports people. Tyler, on the other hand, could be back soon. All he has to do is go through the whole non-contact jersey thing, and then after that, just kind of skate around. Well, actually, I said that in reverse. He's got to go through the skating deal, skate through practice, wear the non-contact jersey and all that good stuff. And then you might see him sneak into the lineup pretty soon. It's looking pretty good for the Dallas Stars. I mean, after that, um, you don't really have too many major injuries. By the way, speaking of injuries and how crazy hockey is, how crazy the Dallas Stars players are, how about Mikko Rantanen? Mikko Rantanen, not last night, but the game against, was it Minnesota, I believe, took a puck to the cheek. Yesterday, they showed him, and the man had a black eye just under his eyelid, bottom eyelid, whatever you call it, above his cheek. You can look it up for yourself. This is not a video, so I don't think I can link it to you, but it might be on the YouTube version of this show. So be on the lookout for that. Um, but the man took a puck to the face. Maybe it was the game before. I genuinely don't remember now. But then comes back, wears a full face cover, visor, face mask. Looks like a football helmet, to be honest with you. And he just keeps going. That's why I love hockey. It was Minnesota, I believe. Preparation is king, by the way. Anyways, the whole point of that is how tough hockey players are. They can take a puck to the cheek, just keep going. I mean, the guy looked like he had a softball coming out of the side of his face. By the way, if you hear a fan, I do apologize. It's hot in Texas. Or at least today it is. Crazy weather. So I hope it's not too bad for you guys. Anyways, I digress. I just wanted to clear that up. And we're going to keep it on moving here with more talk about Jim Nill. Now, look, Jim Nill has won the last two Jim Gregory GM of the Year awards. He should be and could be in the running for this year as well. Now, I could see why Winnipeg is in the running for that, as they're in the top of the league. They have been at the top of the league, dang near all season. Actually, it is all season. The Stars have been near the top of the league all season. I believe they've had the third rank team as a whole. And it's just been a wild ride. You got Jake Ottinger fighting through whatever it was he was fighting through. He comes at you with a shutout against Minnesota, and then plays a good portion of the game yesterday against Edmonton. And for whatever reason, Edmonton broke through and they almost fought back and won. That's okay. Look, everybody is prone to an off day or an off period or whatever you want to call it. In his case, I believe it was an off period. Some days it's just a bad day at work. He was still good though. He held it down, and that's really what you want to see. And I believe Ottinger might be coming out of whatever it was he was in. I'm happy to see that. I'm happy to see Mikko Rantanen still on the team. Or I'm happy to see him on the team, I guess I should have said, because, well, they signed him for 8 years. By the way, there's another reason why I think Jim Nill is the best GM in all of Texas sports right now. Look at the things he's done for the team. He got you Tyler Seguin for basically nothing. I say that even though that's not how it is because of how the trade worked out. The only person from that trade that brought Tyler to the Stars that is still in the league is Tyler Seguin. What? Nobody else involved in that trade is still in the league. You can go look it up for yourself. In fact, I highly recommend it. Tyler is injured right now, but he's, like I said, he's coming back. He's been a fairly valuable part of the team. And he's doing his part. And, you know, when he comes back, he'll slot in pretty nicely. I'm more impressed with the fact that the Stars are succeeding good enough without him. And actually, I'm impressed as a whole by this team because, look at Mikko Rantanen. When you look at what they did to acquire him, if you're not on the inside and you don't know how that all works, it's like, how did you pull that off? He pulled it off because he's Jim Nill. He knows what he's doing. He knows the business aspect of it, obviously. And Mikko Rantanen was, in my mind, a steal. Yeah, we gave up a couple picks, but you're going to get a solid piece of offensive production when he finally gets settled in. And, you know, you do have a playoff run coming up. Hopefully, nothing too bad happens. I mean, the Stars have had their ups and downs before they brought him in. But to the best of my knowledge, they haven't lost more than 3 in a row. And to the best of my knowledge, there's not a chance that they're going to lose 3 in a row now. I mean, I'm saying that with all the optimism and hope in mind, to be honest with you. But I believe Mikko Rantanen's trade is going to pull off some amazing results. Hopefully, I said that right. It's going to yield some positive and good results. I promise you that. Um, he has played with Duchesne, I believe, in Colorado. He works well with Rupe Hintz, so you know that could be a thing throughout the playoffs as well. We don't really know, but one thing that really irks my very soul is seeing people ask when Mikko Rantanen is going to do his part. He already is. He's been on the stat sheet already since the trade. And in my mind, if you're asking him to score 8 goals a game when he's just now starting to get used to Dallas, you're asking a lot. You're asking a lot of anybody to get traded and jump right in and act like nothing happened. Like, you got to get used to the time. You got to get used to moving the family here. As Mr. Stranges said, um, you just got to get used to probably the climate change and all that kind of stuff. It's going to take him some time. It really is. And again, while many think um, they need him to score right now, as long as he's pulling his weight, that's fine. Because what you really need is this young man to show up during the playoffs. And again, that's what matters. Like, you can trudge along right now as long as you keep pace with the rest of the division, the rest of the conference, it'll be okay. Um, Stars are in 3rd place in the whole league. That is a crazy thing for me to say. Um, but that's just the reality of it. It's going to take some drastic disaster, for a definite lack of better way of putting it, for the Stars to miss the playoffs. Um, and the way that they kind of got a plug and play thing going on. They can plug somebody in, they'll do the job, keep the Stars afloat. They're gonna be fine. Um, and that brings me to another point where, once again, why are you witnessing the Stars do just fine? Jim Nill, his business approach, his business acumen, I guess is the right way to put it, with the trades he pulls off, the free agency, um, that kind of thing. He got you Evgeny Dodonov for Denis Gurianov. for crying out loud. Um, Everybody knows that Donoff has been a pretty integral part of the Stars' success since he's been here. Everybody likes him, calling him Daddy, which is kind of weird. But I get it, though, because it's part of his last name, Donoff. What else has Nill got you? He got you Max Domi for a little while. He got you Matt Zuccarello, who was just a rental, but still, he helped in the playoff run that we had him. He got you Matt Dumba. I believe Matt Dumba is going to be a force. Now, let's see. Playoffs. Playoffs are a thing where you go tit for tat for a best of 7 series versus, well, whatever opponent. It looks like Colorado. And gonna be honest with you, Matt Dumba is a guy that doesn't play around. He has said in his media availability when that was a thing that he is ready, willing, and able to do things that other people are not. What does that mean? Well, he can make plays, he can hit people at the right times, and, well, he's going to serve as a valuable component to the Stars' success. I believe Mikko Rantanen will probably fit in there as well. You might see the two of them hit a little bit more. I don't know. But I believe Matt Dumba is one of those guys that is a feather in the cap at Jim Nill. And there's really no way of proving it to you until we're elbow deep in the playoffs. Because the last few seasons, the Stars have been pushed around. Why have they been pushed around? Because they used to play a speed game, or what some people call a balanced game. Is it really balanced, though, when you're bounced after a 6-game or even 5-game series? I believe they were bounced in 6 games, if I remember right. Either way, Vegas bounced them, and, you know, Minnesota gave them a little bit of trouble because they played physical. Vegas was fast and physical. Matt Dumba allows you to keep up. And look, this team was built primarily on speed. Rupe Hintz is fast. You have Matt Duchene, who, at least in my mind, maybe I'm wrong there, you can clarify with me if you choose. He's not known for just going out and being an enforcer type player. But with Matt Dumba and, you know, the rest of the team taking on a more physical approach, you might see some things change. Remember the saying that they had, what was it, last year, a lot for a little? I believe that's going to apply even more so. I mean, if you look at Wyatt Johnston, who has been on the score sheet for each of the last 10 games in some form or fashion, he's played a big role doing like a Joe Pavelski type role with the tipping, and you know he's gotten some nice shots from dead center of the slot, from a little bit far away. He's showing his versatility, in other words. And again, Wyatt Johnston is another feather in the cap of Jim Nill. I firmly believe that with this squad, with Jim Nill at the helm and with Pete DeBoer, they very well could be on to some bigger and better things. Now, if memory serves me correct, Pete DeBoer's resume goes playoff, miss playoffs. That the jury's still out on that, in my opinion. That is, but he's still holding pretty steady. Stars are at the top of the division, near the top of the conference, near the top of the league, and it's with Jim Nill and DeBoer leading the way. Rupe Hintz is a good young player. He's going to be here a while. Wyatt Johnston. To the best of my knowledge, Jamie Benn is the only one that we really don't know about. Maybe Tyler Sagan as well in the future, but that's not a definite thing either. Jamie Benn would probably take a pay cut to stay here, or he might be asked to take a pay cut. Is there a better way of putting it? This team's going to be good for a little while at least. Jake Ottinger is coming into his own. Jake Ottinger having all that playoff experience is a good thing for the Stars. Remember, he was thrust into the Stanley Cup final a few years ago as a rookie, and he did his thing against Tampa Bay. Came back time and time again, proved why, well, he's the man. Um, Casey DeSmith compliments him nicely. Again, feather in the cap at Jim Nill. Because you don't want to have two goalies that try to steal a spotlight from each other. What you want, if you want the whole team to mesh well, is people that get along. And Casey DeSmith said from the jump, he wants to be here to compliment young Ottinger and work well with him and try to bring the team success. That's the right attitude to have. We need everybody in victory green, silver, white, and black to have that attitude. And we, so far, have that attitude. We're delivering on it. Again, that remains to be seen as playoffs haven't even happened yet, but it looks good. It looks really good. I mean, really, though, the one thing that I question about the Stars is how do they get out of a major slump? Now, the Stars have had a little bit of a slump just recently, and they were able to claw out of it pretty quick. But what do they do if the tide turns for the worst? I mean, it's no guarantee that it will. It's no guarantee that it won't. But things happen where injuries just kind of put a halt to any plans, and they can change in a heartbeat. Are they going to be able to continue to plug and play with the people they have? Are they not going to have any injury trouble going into the playoffs at all? I don't know. But it's going to be a fun ride, and it is a fun ride. And tonight, they play the second game of a back-to-back and against Calgary. Again, the thing to watch is this team's resilience. How can they go from one game of the back-to-back to the second game? What are they going to do tonight to carry over the success of last night? I'm going to be looking at whoever's in net. I admittedly have not seen that yet. But again, their ability to play in front of whoever's in net is an asset. It's almost like there is a slight difference, but it's almost like the team just kind of plays the same way every time, and that's good. That brings me to another reason why I think the Stars and Jim Nill is the best team in Dallas. I mean, look, Mr. Nill has won 2 of the last GM awards, the Jim Gregory GM of the Year award. He's won the last 2. Could be in the running again. but Winnipeg's GM might give him a run for his money. Who knows? Um, when was the last time you saw any other Texas GM win their league's GM of the Year award? I don't know. Um, when was the last time and last team you've seen a Texas team not only in their conference final, but a league championship final? Dallas has been in, well, the Stars, that is, has been in it a couple of times since the pandemic era, we'll call it. Um, and it's consistently, too. Now, I'm not a Rangers fan by any stretch of the imagination. I just can't get into baseball, but I do observe it now and again. I look at the scores, look at how they're doing. I'm I'm perfectly convinced that when they won the World Series, it was a fluke. Now, that's just because they're not known for it. That's just because they just recently had their first time and everything seemed to click and seemed to work. I'm ready to see the Rangers jump up and say, hey, no, we're one of the best teams in Dallas, too. But until that changes, until one of the other Dallas teams jumps up with the Stars in terms of playoff consistency, I don't buy it. I mean, look, there hasn't even been a trade. Oh, I'm going here. There hasn't even been a trade for the Stars that caused an uproar with the fan base. He's made the right moves. He's made the moves that everybody believes in. And the team just kept going. Look at what the Mavericks did with Luka Doncic. Did the team keep going? No. They hit a little bit of a losing streak. A little bit of a slump that they just recently pulled out of. And that's not what you want. You want to make moves that a team can um, keep moving through. And that's what Jim Nill has been known to do. I really enjoy watching these guys, and you will too, because they're a plug and play type team. Doesn't matter who they put in at what position. Everybody knows their role. Everybody knows what they bring to the table and what kind of effort they need to put forth to bring the team success. So that's the first key thing that makes Jim Nill the best GM in Dallas. Attitude. Team has the same attitude and play style no matter who's out there. Okay? 2, consistency goes with attitude. They bring it. They're ready to go. And if they make mistakes, well, except for a couple times, they try to rebound from it pretty quick. Um, they bring the same effort. It's also important to humanize them a little bit, as Mr. Strand just said. Um, there's times where they just can't put it together, pull it together, and they fell. But even then, how do they rebound? They rebound well. So, attitude. If I get knocked down, I'm getting back up. And, well, I'm not going to let you dominate me in my home ice. They have done a very, very, very good job of keeping the same consistency and attitude throughout this year. And let's see. Oh, one more thing. The biggest thing. Attitude, resilience. Effort that falls in there as well. Consistency. What am I missing? Feel like I'm missing something. I don't know, man. But they're building. That's what it is. Growth. 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 I feel like As long as they keep plugging and playing and everybody does their part, they're just going to keep growing as a team. You know, the fans are getting louder and packing up the arena a lot more. There's room for the young kids to take the reins from the leadership. And I guess for that matter, the leadership is another reason why Jim Nill has made the Dallas Stars the best team in Dallas. Consistent leadership. Jamie Benn has never changed the way he's quote unquote done business. He's always led the team the same. And everybody under him follows suit. Where the team goes is where he goes. Where he goes is where the team goes. And it's never, ever changed. And no matter who's wearing an A, it still doesn't change. They follow Jamie, they follow each other, they keep track of each other, and they stay a close knit group. That is why. And that is the biggest reason why I believe Texas Texas is owned by the Dallas Stars. I wasn't going to say it that way, but hey, that works. The Dallas Stars are the best team in Dallas because of what they bring to the stadium for us. Effort, consistency, um, everything in between. Management, it's just done right. And that's what you want to see in any sports team. And furthermore, how about the fans? You don't ever hear, well, you did. The fans are getting louder. You know, we showed up for the Rangers game, apparently. Some of the local newscasters said they heard Stars fans yelling in the national anthem like they do in the arena. So that's cool. They're showing up, showing out. It's a growing thing, and the team's even bringing the fans together. Just like the fans are bringing the team together. They're feeding off of each other. That's part of the success. It's going to be a fun playoff season to watch. It's going to be a fun completion to the season. And that is going to end it for this show, I believe. I mean, I already told you. If you want a good team to watch that constantly brings it, they're on the ice. They mesh well together, they're managed well together, and there's no sort of controversy from first line center to goalie. They all have each other's back, and that is why Dallas Stars are the best. All they're missing is that shiny Stanley Cup. Will they get there this year? Who knows? But I'm going to be up for the ride. All right. Well, that's going to do it for this show. No, it was probably not what some of y'all were expecting, but you know, I wanted to introduce you guys to the future, I guess. It's going to be whatever comes to mind, Dallas Stars. Really is. From game performances to why I believe you should watch them, and if you're not watching them, why I think you're missing out. All right? So I'll talk to y'all on the next one. Y'all be good. Stay blessed. Talk to you soon.